Welcome to the podcast, Catch It, A New Perception. My name is Ketuk. And we will continue to talk about inspiration in following episodes as they come. Thinking about today, is it possible to listen to understand rather than to reply? Now, when it comes to a podcast like this, chances are most people aren't listening to reply because I don't get replies from people, which is fine. When people benefit from it, it's okay that I don't get response. I would like to be able to hear some responses from people in what's working for them so I can see the content that we use going forward. That would be nice. And either way, I'm good. When it comes to when you're at work, when you're in school, when you're maybe at the bar, out to eat with someone, out having coffee, and you're sharing with someone, maybe just you and one other person. And they're sharing about maybe some difficulties that are going on in their life, some struggles that they have. Are you listening to listen? Maybe to empathize? Maybe to understand. Are you listening to understand? Or are you listening so you can respond? Because you're going to say something really bright. This is going to be really good what you give them. Or do you just listen? Now, I think that it's a delicate balance to be able to listen and share, be part of the conversation by actively listening to understand, to empathize. Maybe listen to hear another point of view. What if someone's sharing something with you about their experience, their difficulties, their struggles, maybe their triumphs, maybe their greatest gains in this life? What if you listened to understand? Listened to see it differently? Or do you listen to show someone how bright you are? How good of an answer you have for them? Maybe they're not looking for an answer. Maybe they want you to just listen. They're not looking for an answer from you. I remember one elder I was working with. I was actually mentoring him with some things going on. And he saw me more as a mentor late in life. He referred to me as the best friend he had ever had. He was closer to my grandmother's age. And we had great respect for each other. And I was talking about, I believe my children were maybe teenagers, and I was talking about one of the kids. I don't even remember which one. I don't remember what it was about. I just remember just sharing with him, and I was just sharing information. And he comes back with this advice. What was this great advice in his mind? And he has 2 kids that he was estranged from. He didn't have children in his life. They were adult children, and he was estranged from them because of his relationship with them. And I told him, I don't think I want to take parenting advice from someone who's estranged from his children. I don't want to be estranged from any of my children. I want to have a close, intimate relationship with all of them. And I was kind of frustrated when I said it. So, I don't know. I didn't ever get to communicate with him whether he just thought he should respond or he thought I was looking for advice or what it was exactly. Now that I look back on it, I do remember him saying that he thought I was looking for his advice. Okay? I wasn't. I was just sharing experience. And maybe it's because he was estranged from his children and I was saying, I'm having difficulty, but it doesn't mean that we walk away from each other just because I'm having difficulty maybe communicating with my teenage child. It's just what it is. So I don't think he was actively listening to understand or to empathize. I think he was listening to give an answer. And when we do that, how effective are we? Are we able to give a legitimate or a good answer? Is it like something we read out of a book so we think that that's what they want to hear when they could read that out of the book or they probably already have? Or is it some standard answer that you get online or from everyone and you're going to give that to them because they've only heard it a few dozen times, so why not share that with them again? Or do you actively listen to understand, to empathize, to just share that moment with them? Do you ask them, can I share my experience with this? When they're done speaking, is that a fair question? Can I share my experience with this? I remember I was in a ceremony not long ago, and I walked up to someone I didn't know. I had introduced myself to her prior to the ceremony. I didn't know her. I think I've maybe been in a ceremony or two with her sister. I don't really know them very well. And afterwards, I walked up and I said, can I share something with you? She said, yes. And I said, I'm probably only reminding you of something that you already know, and I just want to help bring it to your conscious mind so that you're aware of it again today. She just kind of looked at me. I said, things don't happen to us, they happen for us. And she smiled and she said, thanks for the reminder. And I think it was sincere. I think the smile was sincere. My point was I believed that I had heard her say some things, and I wanted her to know that she was in a good place. That things happen for us. We don't always have to play the victim. We can say, you know what? I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to leave all of that behind me and I'm moving forward. I'm standing up. Straight eyes. Clean hands. I'm going to carry a good heart. Not going to let this defeat me. Whatever terminology you want to use. This was not an hour after she had shared. It was minutes, 15, 20 minutes maybe, after she had shared something. Maybe a half an hour, possibly even an hour. I don't know. I just wanted to share that. I did it because I felt like I could understand, and I didn't want to say, oh, I've been where you're at, because I haven't been where she's at. And I thought, well, I have some empathy. I have a little understanding because I have my own experience with something maybe similar. I have not walked in her moccasins. I do not know her experience. So I thought I would share it in a vague way, in an open way. Not to be closed-minded with someone I don't know. And maybe it didn't help her. Maybe it wasn't something that would be advantageous. Maybe she was just being polite when she smiled and said, "Thanks for the reminder." I don't know. And that's okay that I don't know. I believe going into it, I carry a good heart. I believe that I can actively listen for the most part. I think at times, all of us, no matter how hard we work at it, we sometimes are ready to just respond to people. Now, the nice thing about listening to these podcasts, and I listen to all of them before I release them because I don't do any editing. I listen to all of them after they come out. I listen to these particular podcasts numerous times, and then I listen to other podcasts also. And it's about actively listening. When doing something like this, what about that conversation with a friend? You know, what about your relationship to that mystery? To the Creator, to that power, to that entity, to that energy, whatever you may call it. Do you just speak and never actively listen? Do you listen and then not take direction and not take the footwork? What part of actively listening to understand and have empathy are we missing? What can we do better at? Are there aspects of our life that we can listen more attentively or respond when the response is needed or wanted? Or not respond out of dignity, love, and respect? Just listen. Maybe ask if they are looking for a response. Maybe ask if they want to hear how you can relate to it. Convey what you need to convey. Listen when you need to listen. I remember an elder in a ceremony. It was the last time we saw her come in. She had not been in years. Did not realize how late in life she was. And in that ceremony, she said, "Listen. Listen. Listen." And then she went quiet. Are you able to listen? Are you able to hear? Are you able to not respond? Or are you able to respond with dignity, love, and respect? Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world.